Valley Club, we are doing it again. We're ranking every single character in Marvel Strike Force, all 292 of them. The good ones, the bad ones, and the total trash characters. So if you're ready to see which characters to build and which to avoid like the plague, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you are having an excellent day. This video, we're ranking every single character in Marvel Strike Force. The good ones, the bad ones, almost 300 characters in the game right now. So we're gonna go through this as quick as possible. So this is not a 5-hour video. But before we get to the rankings, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. Countdown videos like this, question and answer videos, news videos, everything to help you get better in Marvel Strike Force. So let's move forward this ranking and start to talk about these different tiers, what they mean, how these characters are going to be ranked. And there are 4 major game modes that are worthy of building up your characters in the game right now. Arena is, in my opinion, the most valuable because that is where you get power cores, which is going to help you in every single game mode. The raids are also valuable because they have some really good resources and you're doing that every single day. So these characters are a little bit more important than some of the other characters for War and Crucible because those are only 3 days a week. And then we have War and Crucible. For me, I rank Crucible a little bit more valuable than War. You may rank War a little more valuable than Crucible based on the rewards, but that is how I have these game modes ranked. Now, as far as these tiers, SD characters, these are characters that are the best in the game. These are worthy of building up to gear tier 19 regardless of your spot in Dark Dimension 7. Yeah, put your gear tier 19 on them if you can. Also, they're worthy of your purple ISO 8 because usually the best of the best characters, they have arena value and they're valuable in at least 2, possibly 3 of the other game modes. So, and if they're valuable in arena, they're probably gonna also have value in Cosmic Crucible and War. Some will have value in the raids, some not though, but these are the best characters in the game. The A tier characters, these are characters that are worthy of taking up to level 100 right now, and they're probably great in 3 game modes, the raids and Crucible and War. If they're not valuable in 3 game modes, they're so valuable in the other 2 that they are worthy of your gold and your training mess to bring them up to level 100. B tier characters, we actually have 2 B tiers right now. Characters that are just valuable in Crucible and War, and characters that are valuable in the raids only. If they have valuable in all 3 of them, they're probably gonna be A tier. But if they're just valuable in War / Crucible or valuable in the raids, they're gonna get this B tier ranking. C tier characters are only having some niche values, so mainly in some hybrid teams, you might see them. In a very situational team, you might see these characters, or the entire team is going to fit into this niche value, but these do have some value in the game. They're not total trash. And then most of the characters in the game are going to end up in this F tier trash characters. Now, this is mainly based on end game content and where these characters fall on end game. If you're a beginner player or a mid game player, some of these trash characters may be a little more valuable to you at the time being, but when you're looking long term, you're not going to really use them. So just because they're in the F tier doesn't mean you shouldn't build them, but they're not going to give you a lot of long-term value. So keep that in mind if you do choose to build some of these F tier characters. Let's start this countdown with the first character on this list, Abomination. The Gamma team, they lost some value because now you don't need them to unlock Apocalypse. They are still good in War. They're more of a War team, and that is where you're going to find some niche value for Abomination. Don't really see him in Cosmic Crucible, Raids, or any other game mode. Observing Man is kind of the same as Abomination, but opposite. Don't really see him in a lot of game modes outside of Cosmic Crucible, but even on his own team, the Masters of Evil, he's usually one of the characters getting replaced. So I would say at this point, Observing Man does have some niche value, but not really using him in War or other game modes. So pretty much a Cosmic Crucible character at this point. Infinity Watch are the cockroaches of Marvel Strike Force, and they refuse to die. They're still pretty good in War as far as War defense. Their initial hit of that safeguard immunity and their early evade that all of them have when as a full team, I think they're going to still remain valuable for a while. So I'd say at this point, they are pretty good for Cosmic Crucible and War. The entire team of the Infinity Watch is B tier. Agatha, I would say she has some niche value as well. Same situation with Abomination. Darkhold is not needed to unlock Apocalypse anymore, but you'll still see this team once in a while in War, Cosmic Crucible as well. So I'd say Darkhold and Agatha is a niche character. Agent Venom is a trash character to this point, not needed for anything. Same with all of these AIM characters. You do not need them for anything in the game right now. not even a crazy unlock. Cho is a good character and is valuable on the Gamma team, but because the Gamma team lost value, I would say Cho lost value as well. Not really using America Chavez in a lot of places right now. However, I still see her once in a while to screw up the turn meter on war defense, and for that, I would say she still has a little bit of a niche value. Ant-Man is total trash. Anti-Venom at this point is total trash. However, with the introduction of Gore, does have that symbiote tag, so maybe there'll be some use for Anti-Venom down the road, but at this point, total trash character. All right, we have Apocalypse. This is one of the best characters in a game and gets that S tier right away. If you have the resources, this is a good character to gear 19 and put that purple ISO 8 on. Archangel is still needed for Apocalypse, but I don't really use him very much. I think once in a while, like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks or so, I'll use him on some hybrid team in Cosmic Crucible or some hybrid team in War. I would say he has a little bit more value because he is a horseman, so I'd say he's B tier at this point, but losing value very fast. Ares is a great character in War, has a lot of stats, and when people start getting more stars in Ares, his value may expand. But at this point, what I've seen, what I've done, and what I've heard about this character, pretty much a niche character, great in War, but not really going to give you a lot of value in any other game mode. So Ares goes into this niche tier. Zemo is an interesting character. He was kind of a trash character for a little bit, but now that he has that villain tag, well, he also had that villain tag, but now people are using him, making use of that villain tag with that Cabal. If he gets that early crit, Cabal gets a lot of speed, and that is great for them. So I think he has some value in War and Cosmic Crucible as a pair of that Cabal. So Zemo gets that B tier ranking. Beast was a pretty good character for a while and is a trash character now. Beta Ray Bill is part of that Bifrost team, which is going to be replaced once those Orcus raids come along. Right now, still needed for the incursion raids. And when the Orcus raids initially come out, I don't think we're going to have that Night Stalkers team yet. So you may still need that Bifrost team until we get the Night Stalkers. So for that, unfortunately, Beta Red Bill is still a B tier character, but you're only using this character in the raids and only until we get that full Night Stalkers team. Then this team goes to the trash pile. We have Bishop here is a Preton tank, and Preton tanks, no matter how bad or good they are always going to have some value in the game. Bishop I use all the time on Cosmic Crucible defense, and yes, Preton tanks are always going to have a place in this game, so he has some niche value there. We have Black Bolt, part of the reworks for the Illuminati, great in Cosmic Crucible, and they are pretty good in War as well. Since they got that rework to Hank Pym, giving them extra speed, they now are capable of taking out more and more teams in War. So we have a B tier for Black Bolt. Black Cat is a very good character, was one of the best characters in the game when we had the Secret Defenders as part of that arena meta. Not really there anymore, but she is still a very valuable character in Crucible, War. Not really going to use her in the raids, but she's so good in Crucible and War. I think she does get that A tier for Black Cat. Black Knight is one of the best characters in the game, automatically to that S tier. Run, don't walk to put resources into this character. This character is a nightmare on defense in War and Crucible. And because as of me recording this, we don't have that full Annihilator team in the game yet, we still have Black Bolt in the arena meta. The Wakandans were not very good at launch, and they did get a rework for Cosmic Crucible when it first came out, but they are pretty trash at this point. The Wakandans, War Dogs, doesn't matter. They don't get a lot of use in the game right now. We still see Black Widow on defense with the Infestation in Cosmic Crucible in War. Don't really use her outside of that, and just because that's kind of a staple defense that I see all the time, I'll say that Infestation is still a niche team here. Blob is a total trash character. Bucky Barnes is a total trash character. Bullseye is a total trash character. Cable is not a total trash character. He has a passive that manipulates the speed of your team, making them a little faster, and for that, he is always going to have some niche value. We have Captain America here, who is part of that Out of Time team now. Rebirth is pretty much dead, so Out of Time is where you're going to be using Captain America, and they are very good in Cosmic Crucible, very good in War. They're okay in Cosmic Crucible. I need to take that back. They're very good in War, and because of their value in War, and they're okay in Cosmic Crucible, I would say Captain America gets a B tier ranking. Captain America World War II is total trash. Peggy, I think, is a little better than Captain America. I still rank her as a B just because of that Out of Time tag. Captain Marvel is a great character on that A-Force team. However, A-Force has kind of fallen out of the meta, but still say they have some value in War. So I would rate her as a niche character here. We have a Hive Mind member in Carnage. That means they're going to be great in War, great in Cosmic Crucible. And because the Hive Mind is going to be needed in the Orcus raids, there are a team that's going to get a bonus. I would say you could confidently build Carnage up to level 100. They are going to be valuable in a lot of game modes. All right, we have Cloak here, still part of that new words, which is still great in Crucible. Not as great in War, but I think they are a niche, or he's a niche character at this point. Some of the other characters on the new words I think are going to be rated a little higher, but Cloak, Dagger get that C tier rating. We have total trash for one of the heroes for hire. Thank goodness. Culling Wing is all the way down. Colossus is all the way down. We have a War defense team and the Black Order, and I guess if you have them built enough, they are pretty good on War offense, but pretty much War just for the Black Order. So Corvus Glaive goes to C tier. Cosmic Ghost Rider is also part of that Out of Time team where we had Captain America and Captain Carter at B tier. I think he is a little bit more valuable than them because I find using Cosmic Ghost Rider for that valuable special in Cosmic Crucible more than Captain America and Peggy Carter. So let me actually move both of these characters down to C tier, and we could put Cosmic Ghost Rider in that B tier because he has more hybrid value. We have Cosmo here as part of that Nowhere team, pretty much just using them in War. They're not valuable in any other game mode, so I say Cosmo does get that C tier. Coulson is a part of the new Avengers. They are a great War offense / defensive team. They're not a new team, but War teams do have a long shelf life, so Coulson, I think, will have some niche value for a while. Crossbone is total trash. Crystal, total trash. Hull Obsidian is kind of in the same place as Corvus Glaive. A niche team for War is where the Black Order is right now. Cyclops is a part of that Extreme X-Men team. They're very needed right now for the Incursion raids. They will be needed for the Orcus raids. They are going to get those bonuses for the Orcus raids. And I see Cyclops on enough defenses in Crucible and War that I would say he's a B tier character. He's probably the least valuable of that team when I'm seeing them on defense, but because he's a part of the Extreme X-Men team, on an Extreme X-Men team, he does have a lot of damage, especially on turn 2. So I'd say he's a B tier character. Dagger is kind of the same place as Cloak, getting that niche tier. They are good in Cosmic Crucible, but I don't really see a lot of people using the new warriors in War, and they're very selective with their use in Cosmic Crucible right now. So let's say both of these characters are C tier. Daredevil, total trash character. Dark Beast, not needed for the raids and not really using Darkhold too much. I guess once in a while I see a bad team on War and I'll use Death Seed sometimes, but yeah, this is not a very valuable character. And in Darkhawk, we have our first member of the Pegasus team. They're in an interesting spot right now. You need them for the Incursion raids. They're pretty good against Infinity Watch and Cosmic Crucible, and they're pretty good in War as well. However, they're not going to be moving on to the Orcus raids when those come into the game. So let's say at this point right now that the Pegasus is at least a B tier because you do need them for the Incursion raids. And initially, I'm not sure if we're going to get the Orcus team for the Orcus raids, or we'll still have to use Pegasus for a while. So at this point, like I said, I think he's B tier, but he is going to be falling fast and probably might be a niche tier or F tier next time we do this list. Dazzler, not very good character. She was okay on the Unlimited X-Men, but since they've fallen off, Dazzler's also fallen off. Deadpool does have some value in both War and Crucible, and I'd say at this point he is a B tier character that works for money, not just great in War, but Deadpool is also on a lot of hybrid teams in Crucible as well. Deathlock, bad. Deathpool, I would say, is that B tier as well. Doc Ock is a very, very good character that you could arguably take up to level 100 pretty confidently. We also have Doctor Strange. He does have that Secret Defender tag, but I see him being replaced more and more and more. I don't see that hybrid team being used. So I'd say he is a trash tier right now. We have Dr. Voodoo here, and the Dark Hunters have fallen off, so Dr. Voodoo has fallen off into that trash tier. Domino is also a trash tier character as well. Dr. Doom is an interesting character. He does have that mythic tag. He does have dual traits, so if you're building him up for Dark Dimension 7, it's probably a little cheaper than some of the other characters that you could bring in. But I'd say at this point, he is very, very niche. A lot of times when you want that time manipulation to happen, he either bleeds out and nothing happens, or he doesn't get hit hard enough and it doesn't drop into that yellow health. So I'd say at this point, he is a niche character. Dormammu does have some value as kind of a backup raid character, but I'd say his value is more in War and Crucible, and he is such a valuable character. even without a lot of raid value or primary raid value. I think he is a B tier character. Drax is another pre-taunting tank, and for that, even though he's not one of the better characters in the game, just because he has that pre-taunt, I just rate him as a C tier character. Ebony Maw, also a C tier character with the rest of the Black Order. Echo does have a little bit of niche value as well. She does stop some assists from happening. So unlike the rest of the Young Avengers, she is a C tier character. Electro is not that good. Other than having that Sinister Six tag, not a very good character. So I'd rate her as an F tier character. Not really using her outside of the Sinister Six, outside of War. Elektra, not a very good character. Also, Bloodstone, there are rumors that she could get a rework as part of the new Night Stalkers team, but as of this point, does not have a rework, so I'd say she is a trash character at this point. Emma Frost is always going to have some value because of her passive manipulating the speed bar of the enemies. Let's say at this point, she is a Crucible War character. Use her a lot of different teams to get ahead of my enemies in Cosmic Crucible. Same thing in War. So at this point, I think she does have some value, and that value is not going to go away for a while because of the strong passive. Falcon is not that great, but his special does still have some value and gives him a little niche value on some of the teams that you might be using nowadays, especially in Cosmic Crucible. Phantom X is total trash. We have some value for Firestar, and I think unlike the rest of the New Avengers, I think we rate her as a B tier because she not only is valuable in Cosmic Crucible, but also War as well. Forge is an extreme X-Men. I think this is a character that you take confidently to level 100 because Forge can make it very, very difficult to kill an extreme X-Men team because he can bring them back to life and is needed for the raids, and it's going to be needed for the new Orcus raid. So A tier for Forge, A tier for Gambit as well. Same boat as Forge. Very, very good character. Yeah, all those pings that he does and having the extreme X-Men tag, not just for Incursion, but also the upcoming Orcus raids, makes him a very, very valuable character at A tier. Gamora is a good character because she's good. And I would rate her same as Adam Warlock at that B tier. They're kind of the cockroaches that never go away. She has a lot of damage value, and once she dies, the rest of the team kind of falls apart. Phyla-Vell and Moondragon make that team really have that sustainability, but the damage comes from Gamora. Ghost is a total trash character. Ghost Rider, I want to say that he has a little niche value, but I can't think of it right now, so I'd say he's total trash. Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes is very different though, and I'd say he is a level 100 character that you can build confidently. Lost arena value since the introduction of the Annihilators, but still is so valuable in Crucible and War that I think you still build them. Ghost Spider is a member of the Spider Society, which turned out to be a lot better than we all thought. So I think Spider Society, because they have value in the raids and Crucible War, you build them all up to level 100. Gladiator is going to be part of the arena meta. Same with Gore. Gladiator is in a game as of me recording this. Gore comes out tomorrow, but because they're going to be arena characters, I think we bring both of these characters up to A tier and leave them there. Build them up as high as you can. Arena characters are always going to have value in Arena, and they're going to have that double value in Crucible and War as well. So at least 3 game modes. I don't think you're going to have a lot of raid value from either of these characters, but Arena characters get a little bit of a nod, bump up from me. Gravitron, trash. Green Goblin, trash. Green Goblin Classic kind of fell out of the arena meta, and it feels bad to rate him at S tier, not being in the arena meta right now. So I'll rate him as high as I can and put him in that A tier, bring him up to level 100. Gonna give you a lot of value in Cosmic Crucible and War. We have Groot, which is a trash character. We have Guardian, part of that Alpha Flight, needed for the raids. They are very good on War defense and only so-so in Cosmic Crucible, but because of their value in the Spotlight raids, I think you build this entire Alpha Flight team up to level 100. We have Gwenom here, who is also a Hive Mind character, needed for Incursion, needed for the upcoming Orcus. Build her up to level 100 along with the rest of the Hive Mind. We have Gwenpool here. That is a great Cosmic Crucible character, good in War. I would say she has the same rating as Firestar. If we have the 3 valuable members of the New Avengers, it's these 3: Deathpool, Firestar, Gwenpool. The other not as valuable members are Cloak and Dagger. All right, we got a bunch of trash characters here. Let's put all the hand into this trash section. into the trash bin where they belong. I want to give Hawkeye a little bit of value, but because there's so many more counters to the infestation, I find myself not really using a Hawkeye counter. So I'm going to bring him back to the trash for now. If you have a differing opinion, let me know in the comments down below. Doctor Strange, Heartless, I would say has the same rating as Agatha in that C tier. Darkhold is still pretty good, but now that you don't need to build them for Apocalypse, a lot less value. Heimdall does have a good passive as part of the Asgardian team, but Asgardians have really fallen off, so trash. Hela is also part of the Asgardians, but she is part of the Undying, which is a more important team. And for that, I would bring her up to level 100. Undying, they don't have a lot of value in the raids at all, but so valuable in Crucible, so valuable in War. A lot of versatility when you have a big Hela, a big zombie Juggernaut, and a big zombie Iron Man. So I would bring this character up to level 100. Hulk did lose a lot of value as well, same place as the rest of the Gamma team in that C tier. Hulk Buster is a trash character, so is Human Torch and all of these Hydra characters that you see here. And let's continue that all the way to Iceman. Let's remove all of these characters into the trash bin and move Iceman there as well. But let's talk about Icarus. Now, I don't think this character has arena value, so I can't rate him in S tier, but has value in other game modes. So let's bring Icarus. Let's do a two-step process to bring him up to A tier, along with Cersei when she gets that rating. Invisible Woman never got a rework. She is a trash tier character right now. Iron Fist is a total trash. Iron Fist Orson is a total trash character. Ironheart is a total trash character, but Ironheart Mark II is part of that Pegasus team, which right now is needed for the raids and are still pretty good in certain game modes. Like I said, they do counter that Infinity Watch pretty good in Cosmic Crucible. Iron Man is part of that Illuminati, and for that, I'm going to give him that same rating as Black Bolt. Pretty good in War, pretty good in Crucible. Iron Man is probably the character that gets replaced once you do unlock Captain Britain. But if you have the 5-piece team like most players do, Iron Man does get that value and is B tier for me. Iron Man Infinity War, though, is a Pegasus character, the damage dealer on the team, but because he's part of the Pegasus, raids only right now. All right, we have Iron Patriot, one of the best characters in the game, in my opinion. I really like what Cabal does, and for that, I'm bringing them up to level 100, confidently leaving them there. Jane Foster Thor is trash. Jessica Jones, trash. Jubilee, trash. Juggernaut, trash. Kang is a great character, great pick for Dark Dimension, and I would rate him because he doesn't have a lot of arena value right now. I would rate him as an A tier character. This is a character to take to level 100. If you have a lot of extra gear, this is a character that you probably want to bring into Dark Dimension because of that cosmic trait. But yeah, very, very good character. Just no arena value, so I can't rate him that top tier. Karnak is total trash. Kate Bishop unfortunately got moved to total trash. Kestra, I think, is a little different than the rest of the Pegasus because she does still have that hybrid value. Her passive is very strong, getting those extra pings. And because she does have that mythic tag, I think we bring her to level 100 and confidently build her for potential Dark Dimension 7, but I think she is an A tier character, even though her team did lose a lot of value. Kingpin is total, Killmonger, total trash. Kingpin does have some hybrid value because of the speed that he could generate for opponents, bringing some bodyguards with those taunts, potentially disrupting what the enemy is going to do with their taunt. Kitty Pryde has almost no value in the game. Same with Korath. Now, Korg is a part of that Nowhere team, and just like Cosmo, I rate that Nowhere characters in that C tier. Pretty good in War, but that's all about you're going to use them right now. Kraven is a great character as part of the Sinister Superior 6 team, and I use him all the time in Cosmic Crucible and War. Even though you can't use him in the raids, I am going to rate him as a A tier character because his ability to block is strong and there's a lot of damage that he can apply to the enemies. All of these Kree minions are so bad, do not build them, even as a new player. And I don't even know if I would put levels in them if you get lucky with a lot of their shards. Unfortunately, Lady Deathstrike is also a trash character. Omega Red still kind of is on the Weapon X, and they did extend that Weapon X tag to X23, but Weapon X did fall off hard. I would rate Lady Deathstrike as a total trash character. Leader is a great character. I'll rate him the same as Iron Patriot as an A tier character that you confidently build, put some levels, put some stuff in, some gear in as well. Lizard is in that same rating as well, using these characters all the time. A lot of the Superior and Sinister 6 I use all the time. Loki does have a little bit of value as well. He is needed for the Old Man Logan trials, unfortunately. I would say right now he is a B tier character. Just build him for the raids. The value that he gives you in the game is pretty much from his kit, so you don't need to put a lot of resources into him. Teen Loki is just for the Bifrost lanes right now. Once we get the new team, the new Darkstalkers team in the game, don't build up the Bifrost at all. We have a lot of trash characters coming up. Longshot, total trash. Luke Cage, total trash. Madeline Pryor, total trash. Magic, total trash. Magneto does have some value, but pretty much like the rest of the Death Seed, is going to be in that C tier. Use them very, very sparingly. Mantis does not have a lot of value. Maria Hell does not have a lot of value. M'Baku does not have a lot of value. Mephisto is one of the best characters in the game. As soon as you unlock Dark Dimension 7 or unlock him in Dark Dimension 7, build him to that, build him max level so you can bring him in for that second round, make it a lot easier for you. The Mercs are total trash right now. There's no reason to build them. There's no reason to build any of these minions right now. Guess they can't really take them out of the game, but there's no reason to put any resources into any of these minions right now. Minerva, I almost feel that she needs to have some niche value, because what if she did Dark Dimension 2 all the way back in the day? But at this point, I hardly ever use her, so I would say she is very skippable and she's a trash character. Same thing with Misty Knight. We have a new Avenger in Mockingbird, and for that, we're going to rate her with the rest of the new Avengers in that niche tier category. They're still good in war, but that's about all they're good in right now. Moondragon, though, is a part of that Infinity Watch, and the Infinity Watch is a team that refuses to die. They're pretty good in war, pretty good in Cosmic Crucible, so Moonstone gets a nod. Now, Moon Knight will be getting a rework, part of that Night Stalkers team. It was voted on by the community, but right now he does not have that rework. It's not been announced, so at this point, he is total trash. However, if you're watching into the future, Moon Knight may already be out, and that would make him a not trash character. But as of me recording this, trash right now. Moonstone is a very good character, and with her, I would place her in the B tier with Cosmic Crucible and War. You're not using her in any other game mode outside of Cosmic Crucible and War, but her stuns that she has in those game modes is very, very good. Morbius is not going to be that Night Stalkers team, at least according to votes, so he's going to be a trash character. Mordo is a trash character as well. We have Morgan Le Fay, which is a very good character. I'd say right now she has value in Crucible and War, but not a lot of other places. Maybe in the Orcus raids before we get that Night Stalkers team as one of the options for Mystic, but as of right now, just a Crucible War character. We have Mr. Fantastic as part of that Illuminati, and he's gonna get that B tier rating along with the rest of the Illuminati. Mr. Negative and the Underworld team are still okay in War. I don't even know if they're in the top 10 of War right now. They do have some niche value if you have them built up pretty much, but I say right now they're not really worth building. There's probably 12 other teams in War that are better than them right now. Mr. Sinister, I know he was on some combos with the Sinister 6 to counter the Out of Time team. However, I'm using that counter less and less and less. Maybe you're using them more and you could bump them up to a C tier, but for me, he is an F tier character. Same with normal Miss Marvel. Not a lot of value for most of the Young Avengers. Miss Marvel Hardlight, though, does have some value. I would say her value is more extended to Cosmic Crucible and War, so you could build her for those game modes. Multiple Man is total trash. We do have some niche value, although actually, let's build him a little higher. Let's give him some B tier value for Cosmic Crucible and War for Mysterio. We have no value for Mystique. We have no value for Nakia. Namor is one of the Cabal characters, and just like Leader and Iron Patriot, he is an A tier character. Build them up. Nebula is part of that Infinity Watch, so she gets rated with the rest of the Infinity Watch in this B tier, because right now they're pretty good in Crucible and War. No value for Nerd, no value for Nemesis, no value, not even for his early speed up right now for Nick Fury. Nico does not have a lot of value, but Nightcrawler is a very, very good character, and we will rate him at level 100. Did fall out of the arena meta, so not an arena character, but raid character, Crucible character, War character, gets all three nods, so definitely an A tier character. Night Nurse, no value. Despite Nobu's value of bringing characters back to life even when he's dead with his strong passive, he is still a trash character, unfortunately. Northstar, though, however, is not a trash character, and I would rate him same as Guardian in that A tier. I think Alpha Flight is a good team, valuable in definitely 2, potentially 3 game modes if you want to use them to counter some of the teams in Cosmic Crucible. Nova is a good character, and I think he has a lot more value than the rest of the Nowhere. For him, though, no raid value, no arena value, so I'd say he's a B tier character, a little better than the rest of the Nowhere. Okoye is not a great character. Old Man Logan, however, is, and I think you build him up all the way to level 100 and put that ISO 8 purple or red crimson gear on him if you can. Omega Red is a good character. I'd say right now only values in Crucible and War. However, because of his tags and the limited gear I had, I do think he's a decent option for Dark Dimension 7 if you are running out of choices. Peter B and Penny are great members of the Spider Society. I think you build both of them all the way to level 100. We're going in 2 steps to get him all the way to the top because this list is getting so big, so many characters in the game right now. Phoenix, unfortunately, I think just makes a cut out of trash. Her unique death and coming back and removing some health, a certain percentage of health from characters. I think even with her not being used as much, I think that mechanic is still strong enough to get her at that C niche use. I think we also have some niche use for Photon. I do use her sometimes in Cosmic Crucible, sometimes in War, but not consistent enough to make that B tier for characters. We do have a lot of value for the Infinity Watch. Again, the rest of the Infinity Watch is going to be rated in this B tier. Rounding out the squad is Phyla-Vell. We have Polaris with almost no value. We have some very, very niche value for the Black Order and Proxima Midnight. Psylocke lost some value, but because we had the rest of the Death Seed rated in a niche value, we'll put Psylocke in that niche value as well, as long as the rest of the Death Seed characters. Punisher, no value right now. Pyro, nothing. Quake, nothing. Quicksilver, I would say at this point is just a War and Crucible character, not going to give you a lot of value in the raids, at least not right now. Maybe when the Orcus raids come out and we don't have a solution for that Mystic section, maybe he could give some value, but right now I'd say he is a B tier character, but might be bumping up to an A. We have really no value for these Ravagers, although Ravager Stitcher, he is very cheap to bring in, so his only value is he costs very little to bring into some of these Dark Dimension. Didn't want to bring him into Dark Dimension 7, 6, or 5, but brought him into all of those just because he's such a cheap character. But even despite that, I think he's still an F tier character. We have another Hive Mind in Red Goblin, and for him, I would rate him as an A tier character along with the rest of the Hive Mind, just because going to be needed in the Orcus raids, the upcoming Orcus raids. We have another Proton tank in Red Guardian, and despite his use out of the meta, there are always going to be uses for Proton tanks, so I rate him in that niche value tier because of that Proton. Not really much else though. We have Red Hulk here, who is a great character. I think he's so great that you confidently build them for War and Cosmic Crucible. Doesn't have a lot of value in Arena, no value in War, in the raids right now. I think you do want to build him up to level 100. However, I do think he's a B tier character and not an A tier character because he's valuable in 2 game modes and doesn't really dominate those game modes. More hybrid teams in Cosmic Crucible. The Gamma, like I said, they're kind of falling off in War. They don't counter as many things. All right, Red Skull, I would say he's a trash character. However, I use him with Zemo and Cabal all the time in War, all the time in Cosmic Crucible. I do like the speed that he gains from his special. So I'd say at least for me right now, he is a C tier character. Rescue is a raid character only. She's a part of that Pegasus team that is being replaced. So if you're going to build Rescue, just build her for what you need for the raids. Maybe when the Orcus raids come out, you build up some of these teams just a little bit, knowing that there's a solution on the way and these guys are falling off. But right now, you do need them for some of the raids. Rhino does have that Sinister 6 values, that Sinister 6 rework, stops the blinds. I would say he has very little value, but he does have a little bit of value. So for that, I think he's a niche character. Rocket, no value. Rogue is a great character, very, very tough taunt to get through. And I would say for her, she's not valuable in Arena or the raids. She is very, very good in Crucible and War, especially if you're built up. It's hard to get around a very built up Rogue. So I'd say she's a B tier character at this point. Ronin is a trash character. The other Ronin, the Hawkeye version of Ronin, is part of the new Avengers, which in my opinion is a C tier character right now. Sabretooth, not a lot of value. Captain Sam does have a little bit of value, and if Falcon got rated a C tier because of what he could do from speed manipulation, I'll give Captain Sam a C tier as well. Sasquatch is part of that Alpha Flight team, so let's bring him up with the rest of the Alpha Flight and move him into that A tier because Spotlight raids and a lot of hybrid use for some of these characters. I see Proton tank Sasquatch on defense a lot. One, because he is a Proton tank and he's one of the better Proton tanks in the game right now. Scarlet Witch, does have a little bit of value on the Dark Hole team. However, you're probably going to replace her. So I'd say at this point, she's an F tier character. Same with Scarlet Spider. Same with Scientist Supreme. Same with Scream at this point. And Cersei gets the rating same as Icarus. I think she is a great character. And I think you could build her confidently up to level 100. Give you valuable, not in the raids, but in the other game modes. Very, very good in Crucible and War. So she gets that A tier nod. Shang-Chi did lose a lot of value. We don't have a lot of value for Heroes for Hire anymore. And I'm not seeing him on a lot of hybrid teams as well, but he does still have a little bit of value. Very, very strong kid. His stats don't really keep up with the current meta, but his kid is still strong. He still has that C tier value. Sharon Carter, not really used a lot. I know there's some hybrids that use her in Cosmic Crucible, but I'd say for the most part, she is a trash character. Shatterstar as well. And let's go with some very niche value for She-Hulk, moving her with the rest of this Gamma team. We have no value for these shield minions. Again, minions are not valuable. Don't build them up. You're not going to use them later on. Even if you're a newer player and they're going to help you right away, you may want to wait, use your resources elsewhere. Shocker is a character that I think has a little bit of value in some combinations. Usually you're bringing Doc Ock and that is summoning that Shocker, but Shocker's okay character. The legendary Shuri is not what she used to be. Yeah, the echo doesn't even happen anymore when I say her name because she's such a bad character, but she's gonna be trash. Same with Sif, same with Silver Samurai. Silver Surfer is gonna be a part of that Annihilators. I don't think he's going to be part of the arena meta, but along with the rest of the arena teams, I think they're going to be very good in Crucible and War. And of course, he has updated stats as well. So Silver Surfer is going to give you a bunch of value. Miles does have some value as part of the Young Avengers, but they are trash right now. So I'd say he's a trash character. Same with normal Spider-Man. We do have some value in Crucible and War for Spider-Man 2099. So I would say he's a B tier character at this point, usually paired with Weaver. You don't really see him outside of a pair with Weaver, but when paired with Weaver, really good opening move for Cosmic Crucible and War. Big time Spider-Man has a lot of value, can counter a lot of tanks, can take off revive onces, and is part of that infestation team War. And for that, I would give them or give him a C tier rating. Niche character, but when he does pretty well. Noir and Pav are both part of that Spider Society. They are needed in the raids. They are going to get the tags, the bonus tags in the upcoming Orcus raid. So I would say you build both of these characters all the way up to level 100. Pretty much all the teams that are going to give you value in the raids are also going to extend their value to other game modes. No different with Noir and 29 or Noir and Pav. Moving down to Punk. Punk is trash. We have Slayer though. Slayer is a great member of the Superior / Sinister Six. And for that, A tier character, maybe not in the raids, but kind of like Doc Ock and the rest of the Superior Six. They're so good in Crucible and War. I think you build them up to level 100 just for that value. Weaver, same thing. Weaver has a little bit more value than 2099. And for that, I rate Weaver at A tier. Bring her up to level 100. Going to give you the value. Crucible and War. Spider-Woman is a trash character at this point. She was so good for a while, but right now Squirrel Girl is a trash character. Starnak is almost a trash character, but because he has that out of time tag, gonna give him the same rating as Captain Carter and Captain America. We have Star-Lord and Star-Lord Annihilation. Star-Lord Annihilation, I almost want to put as a trash character, but because we put Cosmo and Korg and the rest of the Nowhere here in this niche value, I would say that Star-Lord Annihilation has some niche value. I'm not sure if the energy battery that normal Star-Lord still has is worth it. I'd say because of that energy battery that he has for adjacent cosmic characters, I'd say he does have some niche value, although that niche is very, very small. Stature is a trash character. Storm is a trash character, unless the computer's controlling her and boosts the stats. Strife, trash character. Sunfire, part of that Alpha Flight, and for that, we're going to rate him as an A tier character because as Alpha Flight, I think is an A tier team. We have some value in the raids for Sunspot. You can make it a little challenging if you have a character like Dormammu, brings him back to life, or this character has a full charge when you go into that second battle in Crucible or War, can make it very, very painful for you. But I'd say at this point, main value is going to be the raids, even though he does have a little bit of value in Crucible and War. Super Skrull, one of the best characters in the game. This is a character that you run, don't walk to build up. along with the rest of these valuable characters. Swarm is a member of that Infestation team, and like the rest of the Infestation, they do still have some value in war defense, so he goes there. Sylvie is a member of the Bifrost, so you're going to need her for the raids right now and need her initially for the raids of the Orcus, but once again, once the Night Stalkers come, do not build up this Bifrost at all. We have one of the Hive Mind members in Void Knight, one of the best Hive Mind members, but because we have Annihilators and Hive Mind has fell out of the arena meta, don't see Void Knight in arena anymore as an A tier character instead of an S tier character, although very, very close to S tier for Void Knight. Spider-Man Symbiote is a trash character. We have Taskmaster here. Like the rest of the Underworld, I think he's a trash character. We have the older avatar of Taskmaster as well. Trash character as well. Star-Lord T'Challa, trash character. We have another member of the Annihilators in Thanos. Endgame Thanos. This is gonna be part of the arena meta and part of the war Crucible meta as well. So yeah, Endgame Thanos is an S tier character. Normal Thanos is not there yet. He gets moved up with the rest of the Black Order and Ebony Maw to C tier. Very, very niche at this point. Thing is also a niche character at this point, along with the rest of the new Avengers. We have normal Thor as trash. We have Infinity Watch Thor as a C tier character, part of that Nowhere team. Not really getting a lot of use for the entire team outside of war, so most of these characters are going to be this C tier. We have Tigra as well in that C tier, along with the rest of the new Avengers, pretty much using them just for war. Titania does have a little bit more value because she's also valuable in Cosmic Crucible. I would rate her as a B tier for Cosmic Crucible and war. We have Toad as a trash character. Ultimus was trash for so long, but I think at this point, build him up for Crucible and war. You're not going to use him in arena meta, and he's not going to be in the raid meta, but I think Silver Surfer and Ultimus will be the Annihilators that are going to give you valuable in Crucible and war. Ultron is a niche character as well. I think this is a character that gets replaced first when you're using a Master of Evil team. He does still get some use, and for that, I would rate him as a niche character. Union Drac, trash. US Agent, trash. Val is going to be a raid character at this point. I don't see a lot of value bringing her up for anything other than the raids at this point. Even Dark Dimension, I would say skip her at this point, but that's where she's rated. Valkyrie, not a very good character at this point. Venom is not a great character, but is on that Hive Mind team. Don't think you're really using him in other game modes like Crucible and War. So I would build Venom up just for the raids. He is part of that Hive Mind that's needed for Incursion right now and needed for the upcoming Orcus raids as well. We have Vision as trash. Viv Vision, trash. We have Vulture as one of the better characters in the game. And for Vulture, I would bring him all the way up to A tier. I think he's one of these characters that is so cheap to upgrade, has such a good kit. He's going to be valuable everywhere. His speed bar manipulation is tops, my friends. We have War Machine, trash. Yeah, Wasp, trash. White Tiger, trash. Winter Soldier, trash. Wolverine is part of that A-Force, and like the rest of the A-Force, I think you build them up to level 100. They are good, like I said, in 2 game modes, so I think you could build them up for raids, war, maybe Cosmic Crucible, and some niche hybrid teams as well. Wong goes with the rest of the Dark Hole. They are niche characters at this point with the rest of them. X-23 did get that tag for Weapon X, so she did get kind of a revitalization, but I would say they're still not in the top 12 teams in war, so I'd rate her as a trash character. If you're using Weapon X, you may rate Lady Deathstrike and X-23 a little higher than I have, but as far as my use, trash. Yelena, one of my favorite characters in the MCU, one of the trashiest characters in Marvel Strike Force. Yellow Jacket, not very good. Yondu, not very good. Yo-Yo, not very good. And both Zombie Iron Man, Zombie Juggernaut, I rate up in this A tier right next to Hela because they are versatile. When you pair these 3 together, they could do a lot. So here's the list, guys. S tier characters in the game: Apocalypse, Black Knight, Gladiator, Gore, Mephisto, Old Man Logan, Super Skrull, and Infinity War Thanos. Are there any other characters that you feel should be in this S tier? Do you agree the ratings of these other tiers? Should some characters be moved up move down? Let me know in the comments, guys, and I will post an image for this list in the infographic section of the ValleyFlyin Discord server. If you're not a member yet, join the Discord with the link down below, and I hope you got some value from this video, whether you agree or disagree with this list. If you did get some value though, leave the video a like. It is free for you to do, and it really helps out the ValleyFlyin channel. And if you want to check out what are the best characters to equip your ISO 8 purple on right now in preparation for Dark Dimension 8 and Odin, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.